Hey, welcome back, guys, to Movie Files. Morgan and I are here today to give our review for the movie Mother, which stars Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem, and directed by the phenomenal director Darren Aronofsky. Just a quick little synopsis. As you guys seen from the trailers, we're presented with a husband and wife, a home, some creepy stuff going around, and led to believe that it was going to be, kind of a thriller slash horror movie, maybe a haunted house situation, maybe an Omen situation with the baby and Jennifer Lawrence, but it was not that. And I guess we'll, before we get into it, kind of our breakdown with this particular review, we're just going to jump right into a discussion and kind of our spoilers. So, Morgan, I know we were excited about it when we saw like the first teaser a couple months ago. I heard about the movie about a year ago with all the cast and everyone that was going to be involved, and just thinking this is going to be a home run, which, we'll get to our ratings later, but to me, it was kind of misleading from the trailers. I'm thinking that we're getting into a horror movie, but it is a statement movie from Darren Aronofsky, which, if you guys are familiar with his work, Black Swan, and even more recently Noah, a lot of Bible stuff was in this movie. I mean, what was your expectations for Mother before?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be like a horror thriller, scary movie. I was pretty excited when I first saw the teaser, and then when I saw the official trailer. But then when we went and saw it, we saw another trailer that gave us
it's
more.
Like an extended trailer,
a little extended, and that actually made me like not as excited for it. But I think you get that with those trailers where they just kind of feed you just a little bit.
I mean, it was
you don't know what to
movie. You'll
necessarily
know what you
expect.
When you saw it. It was very,
and I mean, I know where I was at when I saw it, but I probably won't remember down the road. So it definitely was misleading, I think, with the way they marketed it. I don't really know how else they would market it, but it wasn't scary. I actually was laughing. I couldn't contain myself in some parts. I was just
as you guys would
laughing.
see, the Jennifer Lawrence character was just baffled by the things that was going on around the house and
just the craziness. I mean, just how crazy things were. I was just like, I had to laugh because I'm like, this is so silly.
And I mean, purposely too for me, and I know for you as well. We saw the teaser trailers via TV commercials or movie spots, but we stayed away from reviews because I know the embargo was lifted earlier this week, and I know Darren Aronofsky and Jennifer Lawrence, when they were doing their press reviews, they've kind of, in the last few days, they've kind of
brought
let
up that it
know
was biblical.
that it was biblical. So I mean, if we would have known that maybe going into it, maybe we would have waited a couple days before seeing it, or maybe even wait to release. So I guess,
or had different expectations.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The expectations were completely, when you go into a movie expecting something, and you get something completely different, and kind of put you in a different mindset. I mean, most recently we saw It Comes at Night, again based off the trailers, and I don't know how you can cut this, but I mean, they're professionals, they can figure out a way how to advertise the movie. But It Comes at Night presented itself as a horror movie, and it was far from that.
But I think it's kind of smart marketing in a way, because it brings a crowd that may not see it otherwise. So if we would have known that it was a biblical movie, we may have not seen it, like you just said.
Right.
So it is smart advertisement in a way, but I think also they're collecting their money, and then they are making money from it because of these trailers, because of the misrepresentation, but then people leave maybe not as thrilled or satisfied with it. So in a way, it is kind of smart because it does bring, I think it opens up crowds that may not see it otherwise.
Yeah, and I'll play devil's advocate. Yes, smart business decision, but I mean, overall, when you have misguiding, I think when people see this movie, it might stain their feelings on, what the director brought, how the trailers were cut, the cast that was brought in. Again, it is a very artistic film. I think the platform could have been
some
differently.
People are gonna like it. It's just a film that's not for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the platform could have been presented differently via streaming, or maybe a short film. I know a lot of reviews out there said it. I mean, it could have
almost
been
like a film festival movie.
Yeah, I mean, and no disrespect to the directors and creators, but it was a very, like a kind of a student film in some ways, as some reviews have said. But again, I don't want to, put that stain on the film. It's a very well shot movie. Darren Aronofsky, the cinematography, the shots that were compiled together. There were some sequences towards the end of the movie that were accomplished. I mean, it was a really well done movie as far as the shooting goes. And I guess get into the characters and get into the overall package. I wouldn't say that there was Oscar-winning performances by any of the actors. They're
most
all
of the performing
actors.
you're getting is from Jennifer Lawrence, I would say, and Javier Bardem.
Yeah, most of her sequences are just her reacting to things that she's seen.
Yeah, it may not even be something she's saying, but you can kind of feel
not much dialogue.
What she's feeling. I
guess. And I mean, too, I think one of the negatives for me was in this film was the runtime. You know, we're watching the way that the structure of the film. You know, you kind of go in the first half thinking you have this husband and wife, and you might see what their relationship's built upon, and I think the movie could have been shaved 20-30 minutes off the film.
We're the kind of people who, like, some people I know have said, like, you could have left and not watched the last 30 minutes or whatever. We're the kind of people that we finish movies.
Oh,
like,
we
don't care how silly it is or how much we're not really feeling it. We finish it. I mean, we pay for it, and we also like that movie theater experience. So, but it was a little too long. But to Elliott's point, it was shot beautifully.
Really well done.
I mean, unless you're someone who can really appreciate those things, you may really not like it. But I will say there were some redeeming qualities just because of the way it was shot. It was very beautiful. The home was gorgeous, and everything just was pieced together very well with the way it was shot. And then also there was this gritty, like, graininess to the picture, which I just thought was really cool. So I will say that was probably my favorite thing about it.
It was a really
it was beautiful.
Yeah. And I guess too, another thing, and it's just, I guess my stain on the movie is just the expectation level. I may revisit this movie when it comes out on DVD or when it potentially hits a streaming service or a premium channel, and just kind of watch it from my now knowing what the movie's about and just look at it differently. Because again, you know, I'm not saying the performances were bad, but they weren't like standout performances. Everyone did what they were given, and they did it to their best ability, especially our main two actors.
Jennifer Lawrence, though, looked amazing. I will say that performance, she's such a beautiful woman. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a positive.
Very beautiful
Jennifer
to look
Lawrence
at.
came
She's
to
pretty.
bring her A game with the looks. But yeah, I mean, another thing too, and we'll just jump right into our spoiler section here. You know, we keep talking about it was a biblical movie and it had, you know, a different intent. So, you know, the overall theme of the movie, the package that we're ultimately given at the end of the film is you have the characters are named Mother, him. You have Ed Harris, named him. You have Michelle Pfeiffer's character named her, and then their kids are brought into the movie and they're just called sons. So basically, the overall structure of the film, you have Jennifer Lawrence, who's given to us at the end of the film. She's revealed to be Mother Earth, is the metaphor that they're using for mother. And you have Javier's character presented as God, as the creator. So essentially, you know, this house is looked upon as
the earth.
Yeah. So as the movie kind of comes together, you're noticing that Javier is continuing to bring people into his home, which, you know, that's when we're introduced to Ed Harris. And Michelle Pfeiffer's character, initially Ed Harris is kind of looked upon as just a person that was brought to the house, a doctor. He's a fan of Javier's character, the creator. And as we, you know, later find out,
and Javier, he's a poet in this movie, so he's a fan of his work, which then kind of correlates with the Bible and people being a fan
of the scriptures and being believing in the scriptures and everything.
Psalms,
And then we're presented, you know, that, you know, Ed Harris' character is dying. We know this is a short scene. If you catch, he's, you know, when him and Javier are meeting each other, they're having a couple drinks and he's sick. And we notice that his rib, you know, there's a cut there.
He's in the bathroom actually throwing up because he's drunk. And our character, Jennifer Lawrence, she actually walks in on this. And then the next day, everything seems to be good. Both Javier and Ed Harris are, like, very happy, and she's, like, very confused. So it doesn't really necessarily touch on this, but you are led to believe that because Michelle Pfeiffer, her character, comes next.
The very next morning she appears,
and you're led to believe because you see
his ribs. There's a cut near his rib.
So it's like, you know,
so for those that follow the Bible,
creating
Adam and Eve. That's essentially what their characters are presented as, is Adam and Eve.
Jennifer Lawrence, she continuously said, she's like, I didn't know you were married. Did you know he was married? I didn't know. So it leads you to believe that Ed Harris is Adam and Michelle Pfeiffer is Eve. And then,
you know, there's I guess we'll rewind back. There's a particular scene at the very beginning of the movie. We notice that Javier's character, the creator, is very fascinated by this stone that was created by fire, as we find out later in the film. But kind of going where we were just leaving off with meeting Adam and Eve, Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer's character, they are fascinated by this piece of stone that Javier's character, the creator, has been carrying around. So going back to our Bible, the biblical sense of the film, Adam and Eve. Eve meet each other, they're husband and wife. They're, naive to certain things, and God tells them not to go to the Garden of Eden, where, the forbidden fruits are. So that's where the metaphor for this little circular stone thing, they are tempted and they go into the room and they break it. Again, going back to the Bible. And that leads to another, introduced to some more characters. Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer's children, the sons, are depicted as Cain and Abel. Yep. Mm-hmm. They have a fight over money, and one of the characters kills the brother, which again, if you guys are familiar with the Bible, that's how their storyline's kind of wrapped up. Same. So Javier's character and Jennifer Lawrence, they have a baby together, which we believe to be Jesus, I guess you could say. He was Jesus. He was the created from Javier's character, and then we're just chaos just breaks apart. The whole story, we're always hearing about Javier's character writing a book and writing a poem. He's finally got the perfect thing together.
So throughout the beginning of the movie, Javier's character is having trouble getting passion or motivation, inspiration to write. And once he meets Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer, Adam and Eve, and then the sons, and then Jennifer Lawrence and Javier, they have a lot of like sexual tension, and then they end up having sex, and the next day she says, "I'm pregnant," and he says, "How do you know?" I just know. So anyway, once he finds out she's pregnant, then he has even more inspiration after all of these chains of events, and then he starts writing and he can't stop, and he comes up with a masterpiece, which is like the Bible,
Genesis.
I guess.
I guess the first chapter of the Bible, Genesis, is that's one of the few things in the Bible, chapters in the Bible that was actually written by God. So and everyone
he sends it to his publisher, it gets published, and then now we have a slew of fans that have come,
believers
from all over. And I mean, mind you, if you watch this trailer, you know that they're in the middle of nowhere, right? And there's even moments where because Jennifer Lawrence, her character, she's the one who has renovated this whole house. Javier, God, he has not helped at all. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't written. He's just been like doing nothing, not contributing. And she has fixed this house up. And Michelle Pfeiffer even asks her, "Well, why did you do it? Why didn't you just knock the house over and start over?" And she says, it's because it's important to Javier. It's important to him. And she's like, "Well, you must really love him, whatever. But, she says the reason why she has created this home to be so beautiful is because she wants it to be paradise, because that this is where they are. I mean, she even says, we don't leave this house. I want it to be a paradise because this is where we are all of the time. And so they really are in the middle of nowhere, and then you just have this slew of fans. It seems like Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem, they're finally getting on track. He's selling all of these copies. She's making him a beautiful dinner. She just looks amazing. She's ready to pop and have this baby. Right around the corner, and then you get a knock on the door. And anytime there's a knock on the door, the phone rings, whatever, like you're just they even make faces in the movie.
Jennifer Lawrence's character is affected by that. She knows that
because they are in the middle of nowhere. So anyway, she's getting very frustrated because he is just allowing these people, just like he did in the beginning, he allowed these people to come and mess up their home, and she's like, "Why are you allowing this?" So she's even more pissed because this isn't the first time it's happened, and he keeps allowing all of these people to come, and it's an influx of people, hundreds, thousands of people coming into this house. And at first it's just like, they're having a good time. He's giving signatures, things like that. But anyway, then it just turns into chaos.
It's chaos. I mean, and again, you know, going back to Jennifer Lawrence's character, it's a metaphor for Earth. You know, God created the Earth, and
there's
and
greed.
pursuit and greed. There's
people are killing each other.
There's people
They're
destroying
the house, and she even asks this person, you know, who's just messing up the house. She goes, "Why are you doing this?" And he says, "So we can prove that we been here. We were here." And then there's a woman that starts stealing. She steals one of Javier's books, and then she steals a vase. And her and Jennifer goes to confront her, and they're kind of fighting back and forth. And then the vase breaks, and she gets very mad, and she's like, "I just need a piece of him." So, yeah, I mean, but Jennifer Lawrence, her character she's had enough. Why are you allowing these people to treat our home this way? And she's also pregnant. She's getting pushed around. She's getting knocked down. She's scared for the baby. I mean, people are literally just, you know,
destroying Earth,
being destructive.
They're being destructive, and that's the overall that whole chaos. It's just,
and that's where they went too long. It was probably a 30-minute montage of chaos, and that's where I started laughing a lot, because I was just like, this irritating me so much, but I was just like, I have to laugh because I know it's not real. But it was frustrating. It was a frustrating moment. And then she actually tries to leave. She gathers her things, and she tries to leave, and then of course Javier Bardem stops her.
And in the middle of all this chaos, you know, she ultimately does deliver the baby, which is again Jesus. And Javier wants, you know, they're having a little standoff for, I guess we assume, a day or so.
Which was also too long.
So, you know, he eventually gets a hold of the child.
She falls asleep. And she says, "No, you can't have this baby."
I'm the mother, So, you know, he gives the baby to the people as they demand it. And then, again, like Morgan was saying, these people are crazy. It's chaotic. It's this mad chaos going around. You know, they kill the baby. And again, you know, they're going back to the biblical undertone. You know, they eat the child, which is the scene that a lot of people, you know, the advertising saying the disturbing and how disturbing the film, and that is, you know, is very upsetting to see.
It's like, it's almost like communion, though, in a way, is what they're trying. It's a metaphor for that.
So I mean, you know, and long story short, we end the film where, you know, Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem are in the cellar. She blows the house up, blows the world up, I guess. She's had enough of the world and the greediness and the craziness of the world. And, you know, that's when it's revealed that he's God and she's Mother Earth, and the cycle continues. As we know from, you know, whether you believe in the Bible or don't, you believe in science, you know, it's, you know, the Earth starts over. It starts all over again. So, you know, that's our spoiler section. You know, we'll now just kind of go into what we thought about the film as far as this review. For me, I guess we can rate it on, what would you say our rating system would be?
Five mothers.
Five mothers. You know, I'm going to go with, right now, you know, we saw it, I'm going to go 3 out of 5. You know, again, it's not a terrible movie. It's not a movie for me. It might be a movie for you, it might not. But again, for me, I came in with a certain expectation. I was presented with this awesome package, and they did the best they could. But again, it was a film that I think could have been given to us in a different platform. It didn't have to be a 2-hour feature film. It could have been a short. It could have been something presented online. It could have been something presented in a streaming service. So I just came in with a certain expectation. And again, I might go back and look at this years from now and just really appreciate, I guess, what Darren Aronofsky and all the actors and actresses brought to the table. But again, you know, we're not big. We don't go to church every Sunday, but we're familiar with the Bible. We're kind of aware of, you know, the undertone that he was kind of presenting to us. But again, you got a director beating it over your head how messed up the world is. We know, you know, we're very aware of what kind of chaos we live in. But again, you know, I didn't think it was. I was hoping for a lot more. So for me, 3 out of 5 mothers.
I'm going to give it 2 mothers.
2 mothers.
Yeah. And the only reason I'm giving it 2 is because it did have an all-star cast.
Yeah.
And also because it was beautiful. Yeah. Like, the home really won me over. I'm like, I totally want to live here. That's the realtor in me. It was just absolutely gorgeous. So that's why I'm giving it that. Jennifer Lawrence looked beautiful. All of that. I mean, it's a great cast. But I guess for me, as far as I understand it being a statement piece, but for me, I would rather see a documentary on something very specific to what is going on in the world, or you know, a piece of history, versus you see these movies where they're doing metaphors of the Bible, and it's like, why? Like, I could just read the Bible and figure it out that way. But instead, what I think makes an impact, because to me, I don't necessarily think that this movie necessarily will make an impact.
Yeah.
I get it being a statement piece, but it's just like, these are things we already know. He's just doing metaphors for them. So I didn't feel it. That for me, just, I don't like it. I would prefer for people to be making documentaries that specifically target pieces of history, whether it's things going on now, or things that have happened in the past that still are going on now. So I'd rather see like a documentary on climate change or institutionalized racism or gentrification, just things like that, versus watching him do metaphors of the Bible. It's just not that creative to me. That's my point of view.
Sure.
Just like, you're just basically doing metaphors of stories that we could just pick up the Bible and figure it out, or things we learned when we were kids. So I was not a fan. Definitely a letdown. Kind of felt like
would you recommend it for people to go check out?
I wouldn't. No. And now, knowing what I know now, I know Elliott said he'd revisit it. I won't. Unless I really felt like wasting 2 more hours of my life, which I don't. So anyway, it was a letdown. I think it'll make a good amount of money because of the...
I don't think it's taking down it, but I think it'll make a pretty good amount of money.
I think the misrepresentation of it will bring people in if they're going to go opening weekend. Yeah. People who may pay attention to reviews and stuff,
they might avoid it,
Yeah, and they might want to go see it just because, sometimes you have to see it on your own. We're kind of those people where it's just like, well, I wanted to see it anyway, so I'm going to go see it. Cool. But I would not recommend it. I don't care if it comes on Netflix, or if I could watch it for free. I wouldn't watch it again.
Well, there you have it, guys. Morgan gives it 2 out of 5. I give it 3 out of 5. Overall theme. I would check out the reviews, take our word for it, go in with an open mind. But for us, it just wasn't what we expected. But again, we want to know what you guys think. Did you guys already check it out? Tell us your thoughts. Are you guys gonna, even though we gave it a kind of a thumbs down, you're still gonna check it out, or are you gonna give it some time?
And I'd be interested to hear from people who have read reviews and spoilers and already knew that it was going to be a biblical movie.
Came in maybe with a different mindset.
I would be interested to hear people from that mindset, kind of what they thought, because I think it also really let us down because we were expecting a scary movie. I'm getting really pumped for Halloween, so I'm all about those scary movies right now. So I was just like, darn it. But anyway.
But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We have some other reviews, a couple different movies, TV shows that we follow, and we'll be back with more content. But again, thank you guys.
We'll be back next week with Kingsman.
Hopefully that won't let us down. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.